Yo, what's going on everybody? It's Alma here, and today we are back with a bit of a different video. We did one of these last year as well, and I just wanted to take the time to kind of be transparent and have a moment to just review and reflect kind of the past year as a whole, both of myself, of the channel as a whole, things kind of moving forward, all that kind of stuff. This video is going to be hugely a review, a reflection of myself, the channel, and everything kind of going on with it over the last year, but also a moment for us to kind of take a step back maybe and kind of talk about what's going to happen moving forward as well, and what kind of things you guys can expect on the channel to see in terms of content, new ideas being tried, and whatnot. So this is kind of the place to discuss and talk about this with you guys, and again, be just transparent. With that said, I will be providing timestamps in this video, giving you guys opportunities if you guys aren't interested in certain parts of the videos, or maybe just interested in this one topic. You guys can have the flexibility of jumping around the video, or you guys can just sit through and enjoy the whole experience with me. Kind of a podcasty thing. I will have footage in the background. I liked how it worked last time, where you guys can just sit and listen. For those of you who do like the visual interest, I will be having footage of games going on in the background, especially as I'm talking about certain games. I will say I will not include spoilers of anything. Most of it will probably be gameplay, and I will try to keep the gameplay to an early portion of the games that I played, just in case anybody didn't experience them and watch them on the channel and want to play them by themselves. Whatever the case is, I just think it's best practice to not include spoilers, and hopefully you guys enjoy the footage too. I just want to start out by saying, before we get into the games and stuff, just from a general standpoint, lots happened this year. I mean, there was a lot of things that were tried, a lot of things that were new and I hadn't done before, a lot of growth, I would say, the good, the bad, positive or negative. Either way, it was an experience, and at the end of the day, it just makes content moving forward better because of things that we learned didn't work, or things that we learned that did work. And in some regards, things that didn't work might be more helpful than things that did. When I started streaming every week, we have a Discord server that started. I did shorts now on the channel. I think there's a lot to be gained from that. We formulated more of a community that is incredible. So I mean, a lot's happened, and I'm very appreciative right up front here for all that. So I will be starting with talking about kind of the games that we went through and kind of going through the year. Those of you familiar with the one I did last year, kind of walking through my thoughts, reactions, my interpretation of things as I went through the year, through the different games, what worked well, what didn't work well on the channel. Maybe it was uploads that I did or things that I tried, and just talking about what worked, what didn't work, how did I feel about things, and giving you just full transparency on it past just, oh, what did you think about the game? It kind of includes more than that, and just as a whole. So I kind of want to work through the games, starting from the beginning of the year and working towards the end of the year to the present. And then we'll kind of jump from present, moving forward, and what to expect in the year going forward. So starting at the beginning of January, I was playing through Crisis Core, and that was something that kind of carried over from the end of the year last year. We started that. I wasn't completely sure how it was going to do. I was going into it with the mindset that I don't know that this is going to be another Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake did amazingly well, and I acknowledged that when jumping into the Crisis Core. I didn't want to get my hopes up, being like, this is another Final Fantasy VII game, this is going to do great. I am happy to say I was very pleasantly surprised at how well it did. By the end of it and getting to the finale, which occurred in, I think it was early February, my viewership and the reception on that series was the best series that's ever happened on my channel. It had the most views out of anything I've ever done on my channel. I would say the viewership and the watch time was probably on par with the remake. The views were higher, but I think the watch time was consistent with the remake. I'm happy it did so well because I love Final Fantasy, and I love Final Fantasy VII specifically. At that same time, I also just started streaming at the end of 2022 as well, and that was Pokémon Scarlet. And I did kind of a new thing, and it was cool because I was able to create something that was unique and creative. I looked it up on YouTube to see if I could find something like I was doing, and I could not find it. I was doing like a D&D mix on Pokemon when I was playing through the newest Pokemon game. There's a lot to unpack with that, and I don't want to get super deep into it, but when it came to a game that I've never played before, it was really hard to make these creative rules that worked in a game that I've never experienced, because I was only guessing on what was going to happen. Okay, well, let me make these rules about what I'm guessing is going to happen in this game. And some things worked and other things didn't work as well. At the end of the day, the rules and stuff that I made worked well enough. They got the job done. I wasn't fully happy with how the rules went, but the series was enough for me to be happy about. And I think that's a great experience to have. And I'm happy that I did it. And I'm extremely happy I did it, even if it didn't work perfectly as I would have liked. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how the series went, and the rules were good to provide still an entertaining experience. So that was very good. And I was very happy about that. With it being the first thing that I ever streamed, it was a very new experience. What I mean by that is there's a lot of streaming to 0 viewers. I've talked about this in the past. The fact that I did video uploads before starting streaming, where I was talking to myself 24/7, makes it easier to stream to 0 viewers. The thing is, it's not quite the same, because when it comes to streaming, you still have an open door and an opportunity and potential for someone to just come in and start to talk to you. So you have to kind of keep your mind open and ready for someone to walk in. And with that said, you want to make sure you keep propelling the story. You can't cut stuff like you can in a video. So it's like, okay, if I just have to run over here, this is boring. There's no content. I'm running from point A to B, and maybe I'm backtracking. You can't cut it. And so it was kind of a difficulty barrier when getting into streaming like that. When you have 0 viewers, it's hard to formulate something, especially for someone who's an introvert and not as social. It's hard to just fabricate something in my mind to discuss and talk about, especially for backtracking and stuff you've already experienced. So nothing that you're seeing is really new, and it's hard to just use the game as a crutch. It's not impossible, and some situations are easier than others, but that was kind of the problem I was having. When stuff was the same in the game, it was hard to formulate stuff to just talk about out of the air. And to some extent, not to jump too far ahead, but even today I struggle with that a little bit, but it was a real struggle for me in Pokemon Scarlet when streaming to no viewers. And it wasn't every stream that I had no viewers, and I was getting quite a few views, especially on the early streams, but I think it did taper off quite a bit as I got to like the middle. I don't regret the experience, and I think it was very helpful, and it was a starter series. And I think as far as streaming goes and what I would expect to experience as a first playthrough, that was good. I know some of the first streams of that, it must have been an interesting idea, which helps when it's a creative idea, which was the unique D&D thing, and got, I think, close to 500 views on like the first one, which was pretty cool. Unfortunately, viewer retention and watch time wasn't completely there, but at least I knew I was making something that was reaching out to people in interest. Whether or not it was executed perfectly is a different story, but it means that I'm in the right direction. You can take it as a failure and just say, oh my God, nobody watched it or watched through the whole thing. That's not inviting growth. You got to be constructive about it. And so I had an idea that clearly did appeal to people. Maybe it wasn't executed the right way. That is what I really appreciate that series for. And it was eye-opening for streaming in general. And I know I was pretty shy, and it was, especially on the first stream there, when it was really my first stream, I was pretty freaking nervous. Things are going through my head too when I started that series, like, what if nobody shows up? What if nobody's gonna watch my stream? As you get people popping in and you're interacting with these different people who you don't know how they're gonna react to you. You don't know what kind of person they are. Are they gonna be mean? Or are you gonna have to worry about, banning people? What's chat moderation gonna look like? There's a lot of things that were going through my mind, especially in that first series. So after Crisis Core, we kind of started our Kingdom Hearts backup and getting back into that, going through many games. So we started off with Birth by Sleep, which shout out to Jaden for having an amazing melding guide for it. It helped smooth that series out a lot and helped me really meld and showcase as much of that game as I can. But yeah, so we went through Birth by Sleep and then went to Dream Drop Distance, and then on to Kingdom Hearts back cover and Fragmentary Passage, and then on to the finale of KH3, and there was some growth that happened with that series. And it was a great experience. I'm happy that we were able to go through that and share that experience with a lot of you guys out there. I know a lot of you guys enjoyed the Kingdom Hearts content and the jokes that we made, and I think a lot of that stuck with a lot of the community out there, and I'm very, very thankful for the community that Kingdom Hearts was able to grasp. So kind of jumping back, streams were kind of running alongside the Kingdom Hearts series throughout the year. The one that followed Pokemon Scarlet was God of War. And so I was recommended by Jaden to start from God of War 1 and go to 2, then 3, then the 2018 one. I was originally just going to go play the 2018 one. Jaden had convinced me to play the first one, second one, and third one. Right off the bat, I'll just say I'm very happy I did. Overall, I loved the experience of the games, and I really enjoyed playing the games a lot, so definitely no regrets or anything. They weren't massively long games, so it didn't take, a crazy amount of time to complete these games either. They didn't take a huge chunk out of the year. The one that took a little bit longer was God of War 2018, which was absolutely phenomenal game. I absolutely adored that game. I will be honest, I would think I was expecting that game to do better than it did. Now, from my perspective and my standpoint, I loved that game and adored that game and absolutely loved playing it. I would say kind of the God of War and a game we'll get to later, Final Fantasy VI, when those games started up, I would say that's when streaming really started to hit in a different way for me. That's when it really started to feel more real, more fun, like something I can see myself continually doing. I think a story-based game like that gave a lot for me to discuss. I think that's something I really enjoyed about Final Fantasy VII. When there's story to go off of and there's theorizing that I can do, it adds another layer of content that I think people look for as well. I know I do when I watch people's playthroughs. I'm like, what are they thinking? How close are they to the actual truth when they're giving these theories that they're coming up with? So I love being able to provide you guys my thoughts, and like I said, I'm so thankful that I played through 1 through 3 because I think 2018 stands on its own as an amazing game, and you can jump into that and have no problem and have an amazing time. But having 1 through 3 behind it and just really giving more backstory and growth to the main character really makes you appreciate the character, and I think this whole story arc as a whole more. So kind of dialing it back at the beginning of God of War, what I was streaming alongside God of War was Hogwarts Legacy. That series was one that was a tougher one. That was more 0 viewer streams, I would say, than Scarlet and Violet was. I liked the game. It wasn't some 10 out of 10 game. It was a good game, and I know there's also some controversy behind the game as well, and maybe that had some aspect to do with it as well, but I liked the game, and I think, there's puzzles scattered around the world, there's a lot of stuff to do, there's some interesting characters in there and stuff. It wasn't able to completely wrap me in there though, like get me hooked 100%, and there wasn't a lot of interest. I wanted to play the game, I paid for the game, and I wanted to kind of experience it in full. It didn't go very well. Like I said, not many viewers, and if they did, they popped in and kind of popped out, and it was a lot of me talking to myself, kind of struggling to do so, to be honest with you. It's a little bit demoralizing sometimes, streaming to 0 viewers. I think I did a pretty good job overall, chugging through it and keeping going with it. But I think if I had more viewers, I would have been able to get into the game more and experience more things. If there was more interest, it would give me more motivation to achieve the extra stuff. I just didn't have that in that series, and it made it a little rough. I think at the end of it, I did have, shout out to Ryu. Ryu popped in there and really hung out with me there, which was absolutely helpful and gave conversation and stuff like that, which always makes it easier. I think it was an important series that I did for me understanding the whole live streaming scene better as well. It kind of was an eye-opening experience that maybe trying to pick some bigger titles is good for engagement right now until I get people to latch on to my content more and really be interested more in, I guess, as me as a person experience the games. So moving on, after Hogwarts Legacy, I started Final Fantasy VI. I heard that it was rivaling Final Fantasy VII. I thought it was a very good option because of the fact that my channel started with Final Fantasy. It has developed to have a lot of Final Fantasy fans subscribed and watching my content. So playing a game like Final Fantasy VI is typically a good idea. So jumping to Final Fantasy VI, that was the game that I mentioned as well, alongside of God of War. I was playing God of War 2018, I should say, and it really worked well. It really did. I think that game was one of the ones that wrapped in more people into the community. That game was a bit unique in the sense that it is an older game. It's a little bit hard to figure out where you're supposed to go sometimes. Having people like Drek and Jaden in there who were kind of helping me as like I guess like my own personal walkthrough essentially, was massively helpful. Not only just to, okay, now I know where I'm going, so I waste less time diddle-daddling around, which would be something if I didn't upload a series I'd cut out, but it provided me an opportunity to also experience more of the game, which was absolutely helpful. And I want to make this very clear because Drek and Jaden and people also on the channel past Final Fantasy VI, which I'll get to later, have done an amazing job at helping me through stuff without spoiling stuff. And it has been in such a constructive way where it's really just to give me the full experience. To really appreciate games to their fullest, I think experiencing as much as they have to offer is an amazing thing to do. I'm extremely thankful to them for helping me through Final Fantasy VI and really being able to experience as much as it has to offer. I think some streamers might take that a bit more personally than I do. Maybe I'm just more lax on it than I think a lot of streamers are that I've seen anyways, where they don't want to hear anything from you. I understand that the people watching, they're not trying to ruin my experience, and their goal is to make the experience the fullest. I don't know that other streamers don't necessarily understand that, but maybe they just don't like that. I'm just massively appreciative of that, and I think that's awesome. And maybe that's a weird take, I don't know, but it's awesome. I love it. So moving past God of War 2018 and Final Fantasy VI, which were kind of running at the same time, we got into Final Fantasy X. And Final Fantasy X was one that I did do a poll on the channel to see what people wanted that were part of the PlayStation Pass. That one was the one that had the most interaction. I like doing those things because it allows me to test the waters and see the engagement in the community on what people are actually interested. So I know it's a game that I'm streaming that has people's interest. I will say this right up front. Final Fantasy X is probably the best game that I've streamed. Not even talking about story or gameplay or anything like that. From community interaction, Final Fantasy X was 100% the most successful series when it comes to the community and streaming and interaction with everybody and all that kind of stuff. It was massively successful for me. If you look at the videos and I say massive, you're like, what do you mean? But I guess it's relative, right? For me, it was massive. I got several people joining me from that series and enjoying that series, both catching the VODs, catching me live, and not just like people that just like view it or just pop in now and again, but people who tune into this day still. That was the series that I think I was waiting for. The series that actually grabbed people, pulled them in, and kept them on the channel. That is absolutely amazing. It was so good to achieve that and finally hit that point. I would relate it to this. God of War 2018 and Final Fantasy VI was when it felt fun. That's when it's like, this is really fun. Final Fantasy X is when I would use the word of success. Like I would say, this is where I'm starting to see success on top of the fun. Like not only is it just fun for me, but it's actually doing well from a channel point of view. And so that was really awesome to see. I talked about it at a family gathering not too long ago in the last couple of months. My cousin asked me what my favorite game to stream was. And I'm like, Final Fantasy X. It's just so much fun. I found myself, and this is how I can tell a game is amazing. And God of War 2018 had the same thing. If I find myself wanting to experience as much as possible with the game, I know it's a great game. If a game makes me care about things that I don't need to care about, that is a good game. I think it adds more to the series, and like, yes, I think the series was successful because of the fact a lot of people love Final Fantasy X, but I think the game was also a success because I loved the game so much. And the experience was just so much fun for me. I had people from the beginning, like, especially a big shout out to Ryu, who a massive help in experiencing everything I possibly could in Final Fantasy X to the fullest. And I think that also made the experience absolutely amazing. I know I also received comments, and I don't think I've ever addressed this to Ryu. So Ryu, if you're watching this, I even got comments being like, wow, the people who are reviewing your videos really know this game and are able to give you the full experience that, you know, the game really deserves. And I'm paraphrasing it. I can't remember the exact wording, but I couldn't have done that without you guys, and Ryu especially. Big shout out to you, Ultima in there as well, Above Average Joe in there. Just want to give credit where credit's due. I can't say that was all me on there. It's definitely you guys as well who made the series what it is. That game was probably the biggest highlight of the year, maybe with Crisis Core up there as well. It's just different situations because one's streaming and one's uploading. It feels like two different animals. It's hard comparing the two, but they were both very, very successful. I think Final Fantasy X is going to be a similar staple as Final Fantasy VII Remake for me. This was a moment of, I can do it. Having an amazing community backing behind it and just reassuring me, you know, what I'm doing is working and I can do it. And again, I cannot thank you guys enough for that. So I really appreciate that a lot. So kind of jumping back after God of War and Final Fantasy VI, so what was running alongside Final Fantasy X was Undertale. And Undertale was a very interesting series because the first episode was honestly pretty freaking successful. There was a lot of people that kind of joined stream during that. Quite frankly, I had a very fun experience in that first stream that we did of that game. You know, it's a game that doesn't have voice acting, but has a lot of kind of weird, funky characters in it, which allows me to kind of use more fun, silly voices that I can't normally do when I'm voicing characters who are either more serious or just more real, like humans and all that. I try not to give like these super silly voices to all the time, but it really catered to that really well. So I could do some really silly voices for all these characters, and that was a lot of fun. Those of you who've been on the channel for a while know that I really enjoy doing voices and voicing characters and stuff, and that game was very great for that. Second stream, I don't know if, I almost feel like it was just my mindset that day. I just remember it being less energy, and I think that was really on me. It didn't feel the same as the first stream. It's the hard thing about streaming for me when I'm streaming after a whole day of work. Like I have a whole day that happens before I stream, which is a bunch of opportunities for, you know, something bad to happen to affect mood. Maybe it was just a really stressful day. Maybe I was exhausted because I was out and about doing a lot of stuff for work. You know, whatever it is, there's a whole day of things that can happen. Sometimes stream days can be a little bit more rough. And I think that that's apparent in some streams more than others. And I really strive to try to bring all the energy I can, especially after a whole day. But sometimes it's just not as easy. And I think the second stream of Undertale really showed that. At least it felt that way. There's lots of times when I've watched stream back and I'm like, oh dude, I was just so unenergized this day. And I'm like, man, stream must have been so bad. I watch it back. Maybe it's not like the most amazing stream I've ever done in the world, but it's like, oh, I mean, this isn't a bad stream. It's at least, you know, I'm able to enjoy it, or maybe I can podcast or whatever. But a lot of times I almost psych myself out in the moment, I guess, with it. And it's something that I've tried to work on. And I think, at least from my perspective, I think I've done a pretty good job at it. You know, knowing what's going on in my head and the energy levels that I have. I've done a good job of upping my energy to make it work for streams even on days that are a little bit rough for me. So hopefully that's been the case. Then after Undertale was Tomb Raider, and Tomb Raider was a very fun game, actually. It just felt good. You know, the guns that you shoot in that game and stuff, it just felt good to I don't want to say felt good to shoot people, but you know, in the context of the game, it did. Just make sure the context is there. And I played Tomb Raider, the OG ones, when I was very little with my dad and my siblings as well. So there was a lot of nostalgia there as well. And it really hit home with that. Then we started Final Fantasy VIII, which we are still continuing playing now. And that one was a surprising one to me because that one did very well. I have received several comments of people like, yeah, I really enjoy your series, the voices that I do in there, because I do voices in that as well, because there's no voice acting, and people really enjoyed that in my experience of the game, which has been amazing to see. And I've been really enjoying the story. So that's been a pretty successful series. Again, it seems like Final Fantasy has been a big thing. It does I don't want to say like complete concern, but it does make me wonder what happens on my channel if not doing Final Fantasy, because I beat all the games or I just want to do a different game for a while. I hope I haven't locked myself into like a Final Fantasy only community. So I kind of skipped over this section, kind of by accident to be honest with you. During the Halloween season, I tried more horror stuff. The game that I streamed and tried is Alien Isolation. That game was a very unique experience, and there was some terror of, you know, an alien chasing me and all that kind of stuff. So it was a very unique horror experience that I've heard a lot about Alien Isolation and people being interested in that as well. My enjoyment of that series was not wholly there. I think it comes down to the fact that, in my opinion, and I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but the game wasn't the greatest. And I don't want to talk too much on the game right now. If you guys are interested in what I thought of the game, check out Alien Isolation, and if you're just curious about what my thoughts were, I guess check out the last stream of it. But it wasn't like my favorite game in the world. I think stream still went pretty well with it. There were still some funny moments of me getting scared or things that happened in the game. So it's not like the whole series was like a disaster in my brain or anything. It was just a game that my enjoyment of the game wasn't very good. The experience of streaming it was actually pretty fun. I still enjoyed the streaming. I think the horror aspect of it, maybe my terror, there was some glitches that happened in there, or just like some weird things that happened in there were kind of funny. There was moments in there that I think are iconic and are pretty funny. It's not like it was a terrible series or anything. It just, the game wasn't enjoyable to me. Then alongside Alien Isolation, I was also playing Little Nightmares 2, and that was an uploaded series. Little Nightmares was special in a couple reasons. It was me going back to solo content after doing more collaborative stuff through Kingdom Hearts like the whole year as a recorded thing. So this was me sitting behind my camera, recording by myself again. There was maybe some nerves, like, how is this gonna go? You know, it's been a while since I've recorded by myself, and I was editing the first episode and I'm like, I love this. Like, this is awesome. I think this is really enjoyable content, and I really spent more time editing it as well. And I think, at least in my opinion, I really enjoyed how I edited it. It was, I would say it's probably my best edited series to date. I thought it was very funny as well. I think there was a lot of cool moments, you know, some scary bits. I think it just had so much to offer. I really, really enjoyed that series. The game was a lot of fun as well, and I loved it. I don't think it got the attention that I thought it would have, and I don't know that it got the complete viewership, but I think it's a series that I can genuinely say that I'm like proud of. So I can almost ride on that, even if, you know, everybody didn't watch it, despite, you know, my own opinions on really enjoying it. I can have some success and accomplishment in myself by just being like, this is something I'm really proud of. And that one definitely hits there. And I'm very, very happy that I did it. It is a series that I think was really fun. And like I said, I'm proud of. Now, to get to the last kind of thing that I want to talk about in terms of games is Five Nights at Freddy's. So this was a very, very special stream. This was a Halloween stream. This was by far probably my most involved stream. First off, hands down, my most involved stream, but probably my most creative. The stream did very well. I had a large group watching me stream and a large group commenting on the stream. And so this was a Halloween stream where I did the Wheel of Torture, and I spun this wheel and I, you know, ate crickets or ate horseradish, as many of you guys know, and it's the biggest joke in the community is the freaking horseradish that'll haunt me till the day I die. Very recently, I'm like, all right, let's check this VOD out. And I'm like, dang, this is really enjoyable. It was something that I enjoyed in the moment, and like doing it, I knew it was pretty successful for me, and it was a good idea that I had that maybe I can, you know, refine more and develop more for a future stream in the future. But watching it back and seeing like, wow, you know, I was getting hooked. I like lost track of time when I was watching it. The fact that I could see that and experience that was like, whoa, like that's awesome. That's awesome that I can do something like that. It's something that I want to strive to do more of, and I'll talk about more of this later, but just the creativity. I love that I could do something more creative and more unique that isn't just like, oh, I'm gonna play Five Nights at Freddy's and that's gonna be Halloween. It's like, no, I'm gonna do that, but with a twist. And that is what I think was really cool about that. And it's something that I think I'd like to do more of in the future. There was like a lot of investment into that, if you will, because I have to go, I had to go out and buy all these things for the wheel. Regardless of whether or not they came up on the wheel, I had to make sure I had it. So it's not something I can do all the time, but it would be something that I want to try more of that stuff in the future. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a wheel. It can be more creative things as well. But doing stuff like with a twist, I think, is a fun thing, and I want to kind of experience that more going forward. I absolutely love that stream. I think it went well. There was a lot of pain in that stream, as the Wheel of Torture would suggest, and I regret nothing. A lot of people tuned in, and it was wonderful to see, and I really, really appreciated everybody who showed up there and supported me in that, especially in a stream that's called the Wheel of Torture. I can only imagine how kind of awkward and weird it would have been streaming that to no viewers. Like a Wheel of Torture where you're just in pain, for yourself to be in pain with nobody immediately watching now. Like, yeah, they can watch the VOD, but to have people live there, it was probably very helpful. I mean, kind of a conclusion and a wrap up for the whole year of 2023. Overall, I would say this is a pretty good year. I mean, I think we made a lot of growth. I think I learned a lot. There was some things that went not as great as I would have expected, like Hogwarts Legacy, perhaps. But we also had things that worked very well and were massive for my year, which is like Final Fantasy X. Absolutely insane. I was able to accumulate a much bigger community this year, I think, of consistent people, I should say, and active people as well this year, and that has been immensely helpful. I've been so thankful for all that, and I can't thank you guys enough for all being here and supporting me and interacting with one another as well. That's been immense. And we started a Discord server this year, and I am very thankful to all you guys who join and interact with me there as well. It's fun talking with you guys there and getting to know you guys a little bit better as well. It just makes me feel more connected with you guys, and that's awesome. I hope you guys feel the same in regards to me as well. Now I kind of want to move on to what you guys kind of expect in the future and what things you can kind of see moving forward into the new year. Currently, we are working on Final Fantasy X-2 and Final Fantasy VIII streaming right now. I have made people aware, and I've said it a couple times in stream, but in case you guys might have missed it, I am currently on the PlayStation Premium. I think I'm on Premium. Final Fantasy VIII and X-2 are on that, and I lose that membership at the beginning of February. So I'm really trying to get through those games by that point. Now, I want to make very clear that I will finish these games no matter what. If we can't finish it before then, I will purchase the game so we can continue them. I do not want to end it early. We will experience those games to the fullest. So to accommodate that, over the next couple weeks until then, I may look at doing additional streams on other days. I'll probably put a poll out to see when people are available, but I just want to put that out there that there might be additional streams for Final Fantasy VIII or Final Fantasy X-2, depending how pacing's going and how much more time we need to finish the game. So just to be clear, the 2 streams a week is going to be continuing. I don't have any plans to change that. I think that'll probably be pretty continual through the year. I've been enjoying doing 2 different games a week, 1 each stream day a week. It allows us to experience more games. It also allows people who maybe are into one game but not the other game to at least have some content that they're interested in. So kind of expect the same old there. Now, when it comes to uploads are going to be something that I think you guys will see a bit different. And kind of to dive into what you guys seen at the end of the last year, uploads were a little bit spotty. And a lot of that was out of my control. I would have liked to keep doing content for you guys, but I was not able to. I was going to use that time to kind of, let's work on some shorts, and I can make some shorts and stuff. And I didn't end up using that time, and I just kind of got carried away with kind of doing my own thing. And I was kind of playing games that I have been meaning to for a long time because I actually had time to do it. It just felt bad. I felt bad. I didn't like taking a break, if you will, from uploaded content. I just felt so lazy, I guess. And it just felt so bad, and I really hated it. But yeah, so I guess I kind of let it get to my head a little bit and kind of beat myself up a little bit for it, especially getting into mid to late December, I'm like, man, I just haven't been giving it the attention it deserves, and I should be putting a lot more effort into it. I'm really trying to push for that this next year here to kind of get into content. This year, uploads will be a little bit different. It's a little bit up in the air how it's going to work exactly, but hear me out. Just moving into the new year, I think something that I want to do that will help provide more, I guess, motivation and drive for me is to not overwork myself, essentially. What I mean by that is like the last, I guess, November and December, when I did do some uploads during that time, but not an immense amount. It was nice to have time to do stuff, because when I'm locked in 3 uploads a week, 2 streams a week, that's like all I can do. And I have found through the 5 Nights at Freddy stream and looking at my content in retrospect, I have found myself wanting to do creative stuff. What I can't find is time to do creative stuff. I have ideas, and I've thrown ideas on the channel in the community tab before of like a role-playing experience where I'm, you know, to some extent writing a script, and some would just be in the spur of the moment as I'm playing this game, but at the end of the day it would be kind of cut down into almost like a TV show of sorts, if you want to call it that. I have these grand ideas, but I don't have any time to enact it, and the main portion of my week that gets taken away in the times that I would work on this creative content is pretty much uploads. So what I'm kind of trying to lean towards is I want to have time to work on some creative content. And when I'm talking about creative content, I'm not being like, oh, I'm gonna go and show you a video about me building a boat. Like, I want it to keep gaming. It's still gonna be gaming content, I assure you that, but I want to be able to work on more creative stuff that isn't just a Let's Play. Because, you know, you can look up a Let's Play of Final Fantasy VI, for example, and you can find a bunch of Let's Plays of Final Fantasy VI, but with this other creative content, I can make it more of my own, I guess, and take some gaming content and make it a more unique experience. Even if I'm not saying that nobody's ever done something like it before, but at least it's more unique. I guess it just makes me stand out more and flex creativity a little bit more, and I would just really like to do that. And I want to still do Let's Plays. I will still 100% be doing uploaded Let's Plays as well this year. Do not worry about that. I don't want you to think that. And I also will, if I'm doing an uploaded series, I don't think it's going to be a surprise. I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and that will be an uploaded series. I do not feel right not doing that as an uploaded series. When I play that game, I'm not going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to do uploads this week and this week, but I'm going to take this week off and maybe the next week and then upload again. No, it's going to be consistent. It's going to be the content you're used to. You know, if I'm going to start Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I'm going to start to finish it until I'm done. I'm going to be uploading that. The only reason I wouldn't upload is if I had something that I just physically couldn't prepare for, in which case I would let you guys know, like I have been already, but it would have to be a really big reason for me not to upload. Otherwise, I'm going to be consistent and go from start to finish and edit and record it for you guys. So you guys aren't like waiting 2 weeks for something. I hate doing that to you guys. I do not like that. I want to be on a schedule so you guys know when you're getting it, and not like, when are we going to get the next episode? I want you guys to know, because I don't like you guys not knowing it. And then maybe after that series, then I don't do another upload series for a little bit of time. That's when the break would be, not you waiting for the next episode of a series that's already going. It would be a break between series, and that would be to work on creative content. I would hope you'd still get the creative content between the series so you can see what I'm working on. So you'd still get like those uploads, and then you'd start a new series and you go through that one. But I just want to make sure there's time for me to work on some more creative ideas and not just get let's play, and prevent myself from really having the time to devote it. Because when it comes to this creative content, I want to spend hours and hours and hours and hours editing it and working on it and preparing for it. I want to spend hours and hours and hours doing it. I just can't. Obviously, I can't dish the content out as fast when I'm doing that, though, so it's going to be a lot more work, but I want it to hold a lot more value at the end of the day, and I think that's what it's going to be, and I want it to be something that I'm really proud of as well. Like, more so than just, like, uploading a Let's Play, because there's a lot more of, I want to say, like, me going into it. That's kind of what I'm looking for, I guess, with it. Yeah, and like I said, too, earlier, I want to kind of diversify my content a little bit, too, so it's not just KH for a whole year or anything like that. So, maybe I do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at the beginning of the year, and then, later in the year I play Mass Effect, or I play The Last of Us or something like that. So it's like you get a little bit of different content. It's not just appealing to one audience group. So you have a chance to find something that you're interested in and not just appealing to the same people, not just appealing to the KH fans, for example, appealing to everybody or appealing only to the Final Fantasy fans. That's something I've been doing a lot lately, and I'd like to diversify that a little bit more next year. I do want to note that depending on how intensive a game is to edit and all that, maybe it's 2 uploads a week instead of 3. The goal would be to shoot for 3 right now. It would only come down to, something like Elden Ring took a lot more effort to edit down, especially if I'm dying a lot, because I have to keep cutting it. And I know I had an episode that was like 4 hours long that I had to cut down to like an hour, and it takes a lot of time to do that. So depending on the game and how much editing is involved, it might be down to 2. But I hope that most games I pick for uploaded series are going to be the ones that I can kind of get 3 uploads a week for. But as anything, I will let you guys know if that were to change. For now, just assume it's going to be 3, but if it is 2, just know that's kind of the reason why. And maybe I'm trying to work on some creative content alongside that, or shorts, or whatever it is. So on the topic of shorts, I do want to keep uploading shorts every week. I'd like to do 2 a week at least. Clips from live streams, clips from uploaded series, all that kind of stuff. I'd like to get that going. I also want my clips to be, if I can, relevant to what I'm uploading. So if you guys noticed, during a lot of the Kingdom Hearts series that we did, a lot of my shorts were Kingdom Hearts shorts, because I'm doing Kingdom Hearts on the channel, so I was trying to do shorts that revolved around Kingdom Hearts as well. For example, when I'm doing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you guys could probably expect to see Final Fantasy VII Remake shorts or Crisis Core shorts. There might be some where it's just some random ones, like I did Elden Ring ones recently. So I guess something that you guys can also look forward to as well in terms of games to expect moving into this next year. The next uploaded series you guys can expect is probably going to be Rebirth. I'm probably going to take this time to work on creative stuff until Rebirth comes out, and then I'll run with that. For streaming, one of the ones that we will 100% be playing is God of War Ragnarok. That is one that's been anticipated for a while. We took a little break from God of War, but we will definitely be playing that next. I want to make a poll for you guys to kind of recommend certain games. And also, I'm curious to see which games that maybe you guys want to see, you would prefer as an upload, and maybe ones who want to see as a live stream, because I know there's certain people out there who would definitely prefer an uploaded series versus a live stream, or vice versa. I'm curious to see who likes what. I want to keep both contents out there, because I know there are people who like each content for its own reasons. So expect something like that, probably more towards the end of January, when we're starting to look towards the next stream game. I've kind of let you guys decide stuff last year, and I want to make sure I get a lot of games on there that I kind of have been wanting to play on the channel for a while. I'm not saying I won't take suggestions from you guys, but I'm going to prioritize a lot of the ones that I've been itching to play. So if you guys have any additional games that you guys want to suggest that you guys think I might enjoy or would like to see on the channel or something like that in this year to come, definitely leave a comment down below on the games that you would like to see, because maybe those are games I already want to play, or maybe there are games that I would like to play but I didn't even think about before and I forgot about. So definitely leave a comment down below. I do have a list, like I said, of games that I already do really want to play, but I'm not opposed to adding more to the list and having more options out there for you guys. So it definitely doesn't hurt. Even if I don't end up adding it to the list, at least I can hear it and know that there's interest out there. So even if it's not, this year maybe, or maybe it's next year, whatever, I do want to also play games that you are suggesting, not just games that I want to play. So it is important for me to hear that for you guys as well. So feel free to comment down below what games you guys would like to see. The world is your oyster. Again, there's always a chance that I've played the game as well before, so just keep that in mind. Also, I'm not just rejecting you to reject you if I don't want to play that game, or I've played it before. It's nothing against the game or you as a person. I just want to make that clear so there's no hard feelings about me not playing a game. But yeah, so I'd appreciate the feedback, and it helps me know what you guys are interested in, and to make content that is stuff that you guys are going to want to watch. So last year, at the end of the year, we were roughly 90 subscribers. when I made this video last year. Now we're at a little over 300. So there was a lot of growth. That's like 3 times the growth. I would love for this next year to be able to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So that's kind of the goal that I set out at the beginning of the year here. I will be pushing real hard to make some really good content for you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be putting a lot of hours into making more creative stuff, which hopefully will have a good impact for you guys. Continuing live streams, still doing some uploaded series. I'm hopefully with all this new stuff that I'm trying, it kind of gets some traction and get some viewership from you guys. And last but certainly not least, I just want to give a huge thank you to all of you guys out there. And I have some specific thank yous to give at the end of this video, and I've kind of situated it as like almost an awards thing. I don't know, it might be, I'm just trying to do something fun with the thank yous here as well. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that yes, I'm going to be giving some very specific thank yous to certain individuals with awards. I just want to make it very clear that I am thankful and I appreciate every single one of you guys out there. All you guys, maybe you guys don't even comment, and you just enjoy my content and you watch and are here and support me that way. I'm so massively appreciative of you guys, and I cannot thank you guys enough. The community and channel would not be what it is without each and every one of you guys. Whether you guys are subscribed, just enjoying the content, joining the community, whether you guys are on the Discord or not, I just wholeheartedly appreciate you all so much. And I would not be where I am today without you guys. Thank you just for watching this video as well. So some of the very specific thank yous and awards I want to give out. First and foremost, I want to give the Mod of the Year award to Jaden. Yes, I only have 1 mod, but you did an amazing job this year, Jaden. You really helped streams go fluidly, and you were a massive help in taking care of some unruly viewers, shall we say. And it really helps the streams go better. It helps me have to stress a lot less about that stuff and can keep the content flowing for everybody, and keep the vibes going. You did an amazing job. Thank you for everything you've done on the channel, also moderating the Discord as well. I appreciate you very much, and I cannot thank you enough. I'm very lucky to have a mod like you, so thank you very much, Jaden. Next, I have the Live Viewer Award. So this award goes to the person who joined me the most for live streams, and that goes to Ryu. I appreciate you, Ryu, very much. You're definitely my most active live member and chatter this year, and it made streams go so much smoother for me and kept my sanity, quite frankly. You made it so much easier to get into streaming as well, especially in the early days, and making it continually fun moving into games like Final Fantasy X, even when, you know, I have more people watching and all that, and it has been incredibly helpful, and I cannot express to you how much easier it is having you there, and you just being such a cool person and talking with you for over the course of this year and getting to know you better. It's amazing, and you're absolutely awesome. All right, the next award is the Binging Award, and so this award goes to who, from my perspective anyways, binged the most content in a short amount of time. And that award goes to Ari Mina, who absolutely shredded the Kingdom Hearts playthroughs through all the series in a very quick period of time. So much appreciation, Ari, to you. I was flabbergasted how quick you were able to get through a lot of that content, and the support is absolutely amazing. So huge appreciation for you. I'm glad you enjoyed the content enough to binge it, and it's absolutely lovely having you here on this channel. You also had like so many lovely comments as well. It was always a joy to read your comments and hearing your takes on the Kingdom Hearts or things that Rain or myself said. It was always so enjoyable, and I always looked forward to your comments and responding to them. So hopefully you see this, and I appreciate you very much. So speaking of comments, the Legendary Commenter Award is gonna go to Dee. Dee was someone who watched through Crisis Core at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. I know it was a while ago, and Dee, I hope if you're still here, definitely shout out on the comments down below. You had so many comments to me about that game, and it was always amazing to read all your comments. You know, funny things that happened in the episode and some jokes, and also your insight into more of the lore and stuff about the game. So I always appreciate it very much. You're very insightful. I appreciate you a lot. Hopefully you're still around. I don't know, but it always stuck with me. your comments, even though it was a year ago now, almost, for a lot of that stuff. I want you to know that I appreciate it a lot, and it definitely stood out to me. So thank you so much. All right, next we have kind of a fun one, and this is the Call My Mom Award. Just to give some insight into this, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I didn't call my mom for a bad reason. This person did something that made me so genuinely joyous and just in awe and just flabbergasted that I had to call my mom after stream and tell her about it. It was so surreal. And that award goes to Ultima. You gave me a tip / donation, what I don't know what you guys prefer to call it, and that was the first ever tip or donation that I got, and it was absolutely surreal in it. I can't even describe what it felt like. I had never gotten one before, and it was amazing that someone would care enough about, I guess, me or my content or anything to do that kind of thing. And having that be the first time that ever happened, I was absolutely speechless. And I think that was apparent in the playthrough as well. I called my mom after stream that day, and I know it sounds so lame. I called my mom after stream. Such the coolest move ever, right? I get it, but I called her and I was like, Mom, I got a donation today. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I got a donation. And I read it to her, and quite frankly, you know, the donation was obviously so generous and so sweet, and I appreciate it so much. But the part that was absolutely priceless for me personally, and the part that I was so excited to share with my mom is just the words that you shared with that donation as well. It just meant so much to me. And I mean, it was the first time that kind of thing ever happened for me, and you were just so incredibly kind. I just appreciate it a lot. So as you guys know, I am not like the most emotional person ever, but I felt a little emotional from it. So I just appreciate that a lot. So thank you very much. It's something that I never thought would happen for me. And you were the first one to do that, and it meant a lot. So thank you very much, Ultima. The next award is the Channel Support Award, and this one has to go to GPK. You were incredibly generous and supportive the end of this year here. You had so many tips / donations with incredibly kind words, and how giving you were. And I just can't believe that someone, I guess, care and like appreciate what the content I make enough to give as much as you did this year. And it's absolutely incredible, and thank you so much for that. You are incredibly kind, and I'm very fortunate that you were able to find my videos and join the community, because you've been so supportive, even like the comments and all that stuff as well. You've been a wonderful part of this community, and you had such incredibly kind words, and you're always in such high spirits whenever you pop into stream and you say hi and all that stuff, and it's just absolutely amazing. And thank you so much for all that you've given, all the kind words that you've said, and just for being here. You really make me feel like I make an impact, and just the fact that somebody would do something as nice and generous and selfless as that for me, and someone who's streaming games and stuff, and knowing that I can have that impact is just incredible. And I didn't think I could affect someone enough to make them want to do something like that. So it's so incredible, and I'm honestly so speechless. And I think that was apparent in the streams when, you know, you would make these generous donations as well. I'm always I don't even know what it's so unreal. Just to know that someone would do something like that, it's such like a wholesome feeling that you've given me and shared with me as well. And that alone, and just the symbolism and everything, is just so priceless. And I wish, I'm trying to find the words to express my appreciation enough, and I can't find words strong enough. Thank you so much, honestly, just from the bottom of my heart. I'm incredibly lucky and grateful to have you here. So thank you so much, GPK. So that is what I have for the specific awards and thank yous that I have. Again, I want to thank everybody out there who comments, doesn't comment, has supported me in any aspect of the channel, or whether it's a short, a series, a video, a stream, whatever it is. if you guys are subscribed. We are all the heart of this community. This community wouldn't be what it is without each and every one of us. And I hope that we can keep growing this community and getting more people involved and just really growing this into a place that we can all just kind of relax, have fun, and play some games, have some laughs, make some jokes, and make memories. You guys all inspire me to be my best, to keep pushing forward, to make better content for you guys, to just do better. I hope that shows in my content, and I hope you see that moving into the next year as well. So thank you everybody all so much for watching, being here, and joining me for another amazing year. And here's to another amazing year in 2024. I hope you guys all have wonderful years. You guys achieve the goals that you guys set out to achieve. And I hope we can all form even more memories and grow this community even more throughout 2024. Thank you everybody else so much for joining for this and sticking through this video. If you guys made it through the whole thing, or maybe you jumped around through the timestamps, either way, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you all for the wonderful memories and experiences and laughs that we had through 2023. I will definitely cherish a lot of the memories that we've made this year for years to come. So thank you everybody again all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye everybody.